believe that there is still a community that lived in isolation among the mountains and forests for centuries, where stories of warriors, tattoos used to show status within the tribe, and villages hidden deep on mountaintops still exist to this day. Today, join me as we explore 10 mysteries of the Naga Tribe, a tribe known for hunting the organ that contains the windows to the soul. For hundreds of years, even British explorers did not truly know where the Naga people came from. Among the towering mountain ranges along the border between India and Myanmar, there is a people who lived apart from the outside world for so long that their origins gradually became a mystery. They have no history books written on paper, no massive stone structures telling the story of the past like many other civilizations. The only things that remain are stories passed down from one generation to the next beside the fire in mountain villages. But first, there is one thing that many people misunderstand. Naga is not the name of a single tribe. In fact, it is a general name for more than 30 different tribes living across the vast mountainous regions of northeast India. Each tribe has its own language, its own clothing, and its own customs. Even to this day, no one can say exactly when the ancestors of the Naga people first appeared here. Many researchers believe that they are descendants of ancient groups of people who migrated from southern China or regions of Southeast Asia thousands of years ago. Those groups brought with them techniques for growing rice on mountain fields, traditional weaving, hunting experience, and beliefs closely connected to nature. When they reached the rugged mountain regions located between present-day India and Myanmar, they gradually settled there, separated from one another by deep forests and high mountains. Over hundreds of years, then thousands of years, each community developed into a separate tribe. For centuries, the lives of the Naga people have been closely connected to the mountains and forests. Their villages are often built on hilltops at elevations ranging from 1,000 to 2,000 meters above sea level. Surrounding them are dense forests, streams, and valleys that provide nearly everything needed for daily life. The Naga people are well known for a form of shifting cultivation, also known as germ cultivation. They clear a small area of forest, burn the vegetation, and then plant rice, millet, corn, squash, and many other vegetables. After a few years, when the soil becomes depleted, the area is left unused so it can recover and the people move to another place. Men are taught to use spears, knives, and later hunting rifles from a young age. They hunt wild boars, deer, monkeys, birds, and many other animals. Hunting skills not only help provide food but are also seen as a measure of a man's courage in Naga society. In addition to wild animals, many Naga communities also make use of food sources from mountain streams. These include freshwater crabs that live beneath rocks, in holes along the banks, or in sections of streams where the current is slow. Catching crabs is usually not considered a ritual activity like hunting large animals, but is part of the daily search for food among families. People often walk along the streams in the early morning or late afternoon, using their hands to turn over rocks, bamboo sticks, or simple tools to find crabs hiding underneath. Their experience in observing tracks in the mud, small holes along the banks, and areas with large amounts of decaying leaves helps them identify where crabs are likely to appear. Would you be willing to wade into a cold stream in the middle of the forest and catch dinner for your family with your own hands? Comment number 1 if you would. There is a fact that once made the Naga people known around the world, but it is also the part of their history that is most often misunderstood. In the past, some Naga tribes, especially the Konyak people in the border region between India and Myanmar, practiced taking the human body part that contains the windows to the soul. Today, when hearing about this, many people may find it difficult to understand or even feel horrified. However, for the Naga people at that time, this custom was not simply an act of violence but was closely connected to beliefs about honor, courage, and the spiritual life of the community. Hundreds of years ago, each Naga village was almost a world of its own. Conflicts between villages sometimes occurred over territory, water sources, or feuds passed down through generations. In that context, the ability to protect the community was considered a sacred responsibility of adult men. For many Naga groups, especially the Konyak people, achievements on the battlefield held great significance. They believed that victory over an opponent not only protected the village, but also brought strength, prosperity, and good fortune to the community. It was from these beliefs that the practice of headhunting was formed and continued for many generations. Those regarded as brave warriors often received special respect in society. Their reputation belonged not only to them as individuals, but was also a source of pride for their entire family and clan. For this reason, the image of the warrior appears frequently in the folk stories, traditional songs, and collective memory of the Naga people. For the traditional Naga people, the family is the foundation of the entire society. However, the social unit considered even more important than the nuclear family is the clan. Every person is born into a specific clan, and that clan determines their position within the community. Many Naga tribes practice clan exogamy, meaning that men and women from the same clan are not allowed to marry because they are considered to share the same ancestors. Before Christianity appeared in the late 19th century, the Naga people followed animistic beliefs. They believed that the natural world contained countless spirits and supernatural powers. Ancestors were regarded as beings that continued to influence the lives of their descendants. Therefore, many rituals were performed to seek the protection of the ancestors over crops, livestock, and the health of the community. Fertility was considered a sign of prosperity. A family with many children meant more labor for the fields and the continuation of the family line. For this reason, most traditional Naga rituals were associated with prayers for abundant harvests, thriving livestock, and many descendants. The Naga people did not form a unified kingdom like many other societies in South Asia. Instead, each village operated almost like an independent political unit. According to ethnographic studies from the early 20th century, many Naga villages were surrounded by moats, wooden fences, or natural defensive positions on hilltops. Each village had a council of elders or leaders recognized by the community to resolve disputes, organize defenses, and manage land. However, this form of organization was not entirely the same among the different Naga groups. For example, the Angami people often operated under a relatively democratic model, with power shared among clans and village councils. Meanwhile, among some groups such as the Konyak, the highest chief held a prominent role and had great influence over community decisions. Clan honor and status within the village were often valued more highly than the accumulation of personal wealth. Rules concerning marriage, land use rights, inheritance, compensation for damages, and relations between clans were maintained through oral, customary laws. In many places, farmland was managed by the community or clans, and its use had to follow regulations accepted by the entire village. When disputes arose, the village council usually stepped in to settle them. Punishments could include compensation in the form of livestock, food, or other forms of repayment, depending on the severity of the violation. Among the Naga tribes, the Konyak people are best known for the art of facial and body tattooing. However, these tattoos were not simply for decoration or beauty as many people think today. For the Konyak people in the past, tattoos were like a personal record, documenting each individual's status and achievements within the community. Each pattern, tattoo placement, and level of coverage on the body had its own meaning. Not everyone had the right to receive the same tattoos, because wearing certain designs had to be accompanied by important achievements or roles within the tribe. Therefore, when seeing an elderly man with his face or body heavily covered in tattoos, people in the village could understand that he had once been a respected warrior who was honored by the community. In addition to tattoos, the coming-of-age process for young men was also closely associated with the morung, a communal house for men. The morung can be understood as a combination of a school, a dormitory, and a community center. This was where young men lived together and learned the knowledge necessary to become adult members of society. At the morung, they were taught tribal history, stories about their ancestors, combat skills, hunting, tool-making, as well as rules of conduct and responsibilities toward the community. As a result, the morung played an important role in preserving culture and passing knowledge from one generation to the next. Before Christianity became the main religion, shamans held a very important position in Naga communities. They performed rituals to pray for good harvests, heal illnesses, and interpret signs believed to come from the spirits. The ancient Naga people believed that natural disasters, epidemics, or crop failures were all caused by the supernatural world. Therefore, before important events such as planting, harvesting, or building houses, the community often held animal sacrifice rituals to pray for good fortune. In the days leading up to the festival, the atmosphere in the village changes completely. People repair their homes, prepare food, brew traditional rice wine, remake their traditional clothing, and practice ancient dances. The sounds of laughter and conversation echo along the narrow paths through the mountains and forests. Among some groups, such as the Konyak, the Moram festival was once one of the most important events of the year. It is an occasion for the community to pray for good health, abundant harvests, and protection from their ancestors. Traditionally, Moram is often held after the farming work is temporarily completed, when people have time to rest and celebrate the results of their labor together. During the festival, people wear the finest clothing of their tribe and traditional jewelry made from beads, feathers, and metal. Community rituals are performed under the guidance of elders or respected figures in the village. After the rituals come large feasts with meat, rice, and rice wine shared with everyone. Moram is also a time for group dances, songs that recount the history of the tribe, the achievements of their ancestors, and stories passed down from one generation to the next. Young people in the village have the opportunity to meet and interact with people from neighboring communities, while the elders use this occasion to teach customs and traditional values to the younger generation. But the lives of the Naga people are not shaped only by stories of the past or traditional festivals. What surprises many visitors most when they come to Nagaland is the simple rhythm of daily life in the mountain villages. As the sun begins to rise behind the mist-covered hills, many families have already started a new day of work. Roosters crow in the courtyards, cooking smoke rises from the wooden houses, and the narrow paths gradually become busier. For the Naga people, morning is the most important time of the day. Adults usually prepare their tools to go to the fields or care for their livestock. Meanwhile, children put on their uniforms and go to school. This is a rather interesting sight because it shows the intersection between tradition and modernity. Just a few steps away from classrooms with internet access, people can still see elderly villagers sitting and weaving cloth or retelling the ancient stories of the tribe. In many villages, agriculture remains the main source of livelihood. People grow rice, corn, green vegetables and many local crops on gently sloping hillsides. Farm work is often carried out in a spirit of community. During important periods such as planting or harvesting, families often help one another instead of working separately. By midday, life in the village slows down. Many families gather around a simple meal of rice, forest vegetables, stream fish or smoked meat, a famous dish in Naga cuisine. Although living conditions have changed over time, many traditional recipes have remained unchanged for generations. The afternoon is when more community activities take place. Children play along the narrow dirt paths, while adults talk on their porches or take part in shared village work. That peaceful atmosphere creates a sense of connection that is very difficult to find in crowded cities. And when night falls, a beautiful tradition is still maintained in many places. It is the custom of gathering together to talk. Stories about ancestors, life in the forest, festivals and lessons learned from experience continue to be passed down from the elders to the younger generation. Perhaps it is these simple moments that most clearly reflect the true nature of the Naga community. Not the mysterious images often shown in the media, but a society that values family, community, and the connection between people and nature. And from these simple villages, one of the most precious parts of Naga heritage is still being preserved to this day: traditional craftsmanship and clothing that bears the distinct cultural identity of each tribe. However, the Naga people are not the only traditional community that still preserves ancient cultural traits on the Indian subcontinent. Thousands of kilometers south of the mountains of Nagaland, amid the deep blue waters of the Bay of Bengal, there is a group of people who have sparked even greater curiosity among anthropologists. They live on isolated islands, avoid contact with the outside world, and maintain a way of life that has remained almost unchanged for thousands of years. They are the Sentinelese, the inhabitants of North Sentinel Island in the Andaman Islands. While the Naga people today have become partly integrated into modern society, the Sentinelese have chosen a completely different path. They still survive by hunting, gathering and fishing, using simple tools made by hand and taking almost no part in any activities of the modern world. What is remarkable is that even today, no one truly knows what they call themselves, what language they speak, or how their society is organized. What humanity knows about this community comes only from distant observations by the Indian government and researchers. Their prolonged isolation has made the Sentinelese one of the least known communities on the planet. And for that very reason, they are often seen as a rare window that helps modern humans imagine how our ancestors may have lived tens of thousands of years ago. But what is life really like on that isolated island? How can a small community survive for thousands of years while remaining almost unaffected by the outside world? To answer that question, we need to begin where every story about the Sentinelese begins: North Sentinel Island, one of the most mysterious places in the world. The mist-covered mountains of Nagaland gradually fade into the distance. But the journey to explore the ancient communities of India is not yet over. Because across this vast land, every mountain region, every forest and every plateau seems to preserve a completely different story. While the Naga people are known for their strong sense of community, mountain villages and culture preserved through many generations, the more than 2,000 kilometers to the south, there is another community that amazes anthropologists in a different way. Among the lush green grasslands of the Nilgiri Hills, where the clouds nearly touch the ground and herds of buffalo graze leisurely on the slopes, lives one of the oldest tribes in southern India. They are the Toda people. What makes them special is that while many ancient communities see livestock simply as a source of food or labor, the Toda people give buffalo an almost sacred place in their spiritual life. To them, buffalo are not only property, but also the center of their beliefs, culture, and community identity. For centuries, the lives of the Toda people have revolved around herds of long-horned buffalo grazing on the cool plateaus of the Nilgiri Hills. Milk, butter, and dairy products are not only important sources of food but also appear in religious rituals, community events, and important milestones in each person's life. Even Toda architecture is different from that of most other tribes in India. Their small semicircular houses with curved thatched roofs look like tunnels lying among the grasslands. This design has endured for many generations and has become one of the tribe's most famous cultural symbols. But perhaps what makes the world most curious is how the Toda people have continued to maintain their traditional way of life in a rapidly developing country. While modern cities continue to expand, many Toda families still raise livestock, perform ancient rituals, and teach the language of their ancestors to their children. Amid the windy and misty Nilgiri Plateau, they are like guardians of the memory of a distant era. And to understand why such a small community has been able to preserve its identity for centuries, we need to begin with the most sacred part of their lives, the buffalo herd that the Toda people regard as a gift from the gods. From the mountains of Nagaland to the Nilgiri Plateau, every tribe preserves an incredible story. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel to explore more mysterious cultures around the world.